Some of you may know who have been watching this series. I've been taking extracts from the Gospel of Matthew in chapter 5 and Yogananda's commentaries on the verses of that chapter. Today we have a very unusual one, whereas my last broadcast was a more challenging one about adultery and lust. Today we have kind of a, I don't know what, it's almost an anachronism. It's on the act of swearing, by Jove, this sort of thing, by God, and so on. So I'm going to read it, and then we'll explore Yogananda's curious comments on it. So this isn't as deep as a lot of the things, but maybe it's interesting or curious. So this is Matthew 5, verses 33 through 37. Again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old, Thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, yea, or nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. Well, in my own upbringing, I don't recall doing a lot of swearing. There's two kinds of swearing, I suppose. There's the use of cuss words, swear words, as we say. Two meanings to the word or verb swear. And then there is the swearing where you take an oath, like the inauguration of a president or in a court of law. I'm not really sure which of these two he's talking about exactly, but we'll come back to that. And so Jesus said it's not good to swear at all, even though in the old scriptures, in the Old Testament times, it was taught it was permissible to give the oath of allegiance unto the Lord. I'm not actually familiar with that, but anyway, Jesus says not to swear at all, especially by using the name of heaven or earth, for heaven is God's transcendental chamber of blissful retirement. He uses very colorful words here. And earth is the place of heavenly activity. Well, okay. God rests in the heavenly region of space, hidden behind the walls of light rays. Isn't that a very curious way of putting it? In other words, it has been said, Yogananda has said, others have said, that even as we speak now, there are angels of heaven all around us, and we can't see them because of the firmament of the difference of vibration. And that firmament is the firmament, meaning that wall that separates us, is made of very fine light rays. Okay, but the astral world, it's not like it's up there or down there, it's right here. But we simply can't see it with these two eyes. Anyway, the earth, he goes on, in the heavenly regions above, God rests in eternal bliss, and the earth is the footstool of God. That is, it is a place where God works with his feet of motion and activity. Very charming. Neither should one swear by Jerusalem or any other holy city, which has the sacred manifestation of the royal God through his saints. Neither should one swear by the head, because it's the sacred abode of the soul. Honestly, I've never sworn by my head. I don't really know what they're talking about. This is pretty, as I say, a bit anachronistic. But here's where he gets into it in a way that we can understand. He says, swearing is the result of overworked emotion. So let's say you're having an argument with somebody, and to make your point, I swear by God, or, whatever it is you swear by, something sacred, though, in other words, as if that somehow makes what you're saying more true. And he says, during the mental blindness caused by emotion or heated argument or anger or false assertion, one is apt to speak untruth and assert untruth violently, and to add to such impulsive untruth statements the sacred name of God or heaven or God-created earth or the sacred abode of saints or the holy abode of the soul and the head is sin. Do not drag down something which is holy to support something which is wrong or meaningless. So that's what he's talking about, is at that time when, people very heatedly swear by the saints. I know in my sort of Irish tradition that was, I swear by the Holy Virgin or the Holy Mother of God. I've sort of heard that in my growing up a little bit, but it wasn't prevalent in my own personal household. So that's what he goes on to say that swearing reveals weakness of character, lack of fineness, meaning refinement, and a lack of reverence for holy things. It makes you cheap and creates a cheap atmosphere, undermining the sacredness of holy things, etc. Swearing reveals that one has to resort to emotional exclamations instead of using the clarity of reason to prove his point. So, swearing develops, this is interesting. Swearing develops profane language. That's where, like cuss words. So he's really, though there's a distinction there, he's, in his commentaries, covering both. Swearing develops profane language, an impulsive and overbearing nature by those who resort to this, and hasty and impatient assertions. I had the image earlier when I was reading this. I think of Swami Sri Yukteswar or some other great and holy saint. The essence of refinement, Swami Kriyananda, our founder of Ananda, would say to us sometimes is understatement. And so those who wave their arms and swear up and down and jump up and down and spit out red nickels or whatever we used to say as kids, they're exaggerating, okay? But someone who is very refined, who speaks only the truth, they may not say much, but when they speak, people who know them listen. And I think that's what it is talking. Say yes or no, or yea or nay, calmly and emphatically administered as the occasion demands. So this is kind of a short presentation today because it's not a greatly deep subject. I think, at least the world I live in, I don't see much swearing. It may still be true in more traditional cultures. I swear on a Bible, or I swear by the Quran, or something like that. But I have to admit, I don't see much evidence of that tendency anymore. I suppose there are some who use a lot of swear words. Again, in my Irish tradition, the four-letter word beginning with F is used constantly, actually. Thankfully, my parents did not swear in that way, so I didn't grow up with that. But, every other word. So some people are exposed to that kind of swearing, but I haven't been, and people I know don't do that. So we can let this one go kind of lightly today, don't you think? Okay, I swear it's just all right, great souls. We're coming into Christmas. I'm here at the Blue Lotus Temple, and this Saturday, and you can watch us online and meditate with us online. We have our 8-hour tradition begun by Yogananda many decades ago, a day of seeking the true spirit of Christmas, the holy and indwelling, innate Christ consciousness in us, in the formless way of the Christ peace or the Christ joy or love, but also some devotees have a vision of Jesus in form on such a holy day. So his tradition, he first started out with Christmas Eve, but that proved to be too inconvenient to preparing for the festivities and supper on Christmas Day. So the devotees convinced him to move it back to the 23rd. We do that in some of our Ananda communities, but here out in the cities, we've relaxed even further, and we do the Saturday closest to Christmas. So that's this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The next day, the 19th, is another concession to the fact that many of our members are of mixed families and have other traditional things they do on Christmas Day. So we find that our Sunday celebration of Christmas, what we call the Christmas pageantry, takes place on the Sunday closest to Christmas Day, but to give some space so people can do more traditional things. And so that's the 19th, this Sunday, online and in person. In that case, we will have the three wise men and the Holy Family visiting us with a wonderful celebration. Okay, that's it for today, great souls, and we will see you, well, tomorrow actually. We continue with our